Hey everyone, and welcome back to the Radiant Black podcast. Today's episode is a really special one. We're shining the spotlight on one of our amazing Patreon members, part of the community that helps us keep the show running and the Massiveverse conversations alive. We talk a lot about Radiant Black, Rogue Sun, Inferno Girl Red, and the rest of the Massiveverse, but today we're diving into what it's like to be a fan, what keeps us coming back issue after issue, how the community has grown, and how stories like these connect with readers on a personal level. So sit back, relax, and let's get to know one of the awesome voices behind our community. Today, we are joined by longtime community member and patron, Jordan. Jordan, my friend, how are you doing?
Bash, my friend, I am doing great, sir. I'm so happy to be here with y'all. Thanks for the invitation. I'm super stoked to get to talk with y'all today.
Thank you.
Awesome.
No, we're so glad to have you here. We've been fans of you for a long time. You guys have been supporting the show for so long. And fun fact, actually, Noah and Jordan are the two oldest patrons of the show. I'm pretty sure they subbed on the same day, if not within a day of each other, and they've been nonstop since then. So really appreciate every time you see upgrades on the show, whether it's something like the overlay or moving to StreamYard, years ago, or we started out literally as an audio show. We were just
Yeah.
RSS feeds on Podbean, and then we would upload our episodes onto YouTube, but they would only be like a static or dynamic, null background just to have something. And then since from then we've grown a lot, and it's a large part of that is thanks to these amazing members of our community like Jordan, like Noah. So we've been really looking forward to this for a while, and we've prepared some really fun questions. A lot of them are going to be about getting to know Jordan and his fascination with this community, with the Radiant Black, with Massiveverse, and his involvement with it and everything like that. So yeah, guys, without further ado, let's do this. So Jordan, I'm going to give you the first one, and it's the obvious one. I'm sure you saw this coming. How did you first discover Radiant Black and the Massiveverse? Although I'm just looking at your shelf behind you, and I think I know the answer, but I can't wait to hear it.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks for the question. It's a good one. It all starts back in August of 2011 when DC started the New 52. In fact, it pops up on my Facebook timeline every year. August 31st is when I got the first issue of Justice League #1. And that's when I started collecting comics seriously. And a group of friends of mine, there was about 4 of us that were dedicated to collecting. And one of the things that I started collecting was Nightwing. I didn't know anything about writers or artists. I just knew the characters that I liked. And Nightwing is one of my favorite characters. And I soon discovered Kyle is the writer for that. And I followed his run on Nightwing through its entirety, and then got to know more about like Gates of Gotham. I actually had Gates of Gotham before I knew it was Kyle, which is really interesting. And then he got the rights to Power Rangers, and I am a millennial, a 90s kid. I grew up watching Power Rangers, so it felt like a no-brainer. And I followed him over to Power Rangers, which I have some of the deluxe editions behind me of Mighty Morphin. And then, around 2020, when he kicked off Radiant Black, I saw the news that he was starting his own creator-owned stuff, but I didn't quite jump onto it. There was something that happened in 2020. I don't remember, that affected the whole world. Y'all probably don't remember either. And, I was pretty occupied, but I remember in December of 2020, around my birthday, I wanted to read something new. And I remember seeing a bunch of posts about Kyle and Radiant Black. And I thought, you know what? This is supposed to be like a tokusatsu inspiration love letter, Power Rangers, like running parallel to Power Rangers. And I like those things, so I'm going to check it out. And I mean, all I did was buy the first volume. And as soon as I read the first volume, I was hooked. And consequently, at the same time, they were coming out, I think, with Supermassive #1. And y'all were doing an interview with Kyle and half the Supermassive team, I think. And that was the first episode that I ever listened to of the Radiant Black podcast. Oh. And I was hooked because I was trying to find everything Radiant Black related. I collected all the graphic novels, and I was looking for people who might be doing a podcast about it, and that's how I stumbled across y'all and the Supermassive issue 1. And as they say, the rest is history.
That's amazing.
That's
Love that.
fantastic. Yeah, that's so good. I honestly, I'm not surprised. The only thing that surprises me, and I love it, is that your introduction was during the New 52. I'm surprised, like that you like, were you ever acquainted with comics before that, and it wasn't your thing, or was that just the right moment?
It coincided with being the right moment. That was 2011. So in 2010, I started very slowly collecting graphic novels. And then I started watching The Big Bang Theory, which that's a show about a bunch of dudes who really like comics. They also have jobs, but they talk about comics too. And I don't know, I just had this desire to start collecting comics. And when I looked into it, it was the summer of 2011. And wouldn't you know it, Flashpoint was ending, and it was the lead into the New 52. And it's supposed to be this, like, I don't remember, soft reboot or a hard reboot. Either way, number one's across the board, right? And that just was the perfect timing. And I couldn't have timed it any better. And I was collecting Batman, Nightwing, Dark Knight for a hot second. And then I know y'all already know this, but somehow my friend encouraged me to pick something I wouldn't ordinarily pick. And I saw Aquaman on the shelf. And I went, oh, that looks interesting. And I had heard about Jeff Johns because of Blackest Night. And man, greatest decision I've ever made, because I have loved Aquaman since basically 2012, and the character doesn't get enough credit. And so I've been collecting Aquaman since 2012, and anytime a movie or a show or a mini series comes out, y'all know I'm the first one to pick it up and talk about it, because it's a great character.
Definitely.
Yeah. Yeah, so I know you're a big fan of Aquaman. You're the biggest Aquaman fan I know, and I'm not even but I love it because I knew they existed, because Aquaman is really cool. But yeah, so I guess, yeah, this is important because clearly you were always going to check out Radiant Black with your connection to Kyle Higgins, Power Rangers. So I guess, what was your first impression of the series? Like, did it hook you right away, or was it a slow build?
Oh, it hooked me right away, and especially because as we listen to Kyle a lot, and Michael Basuto and everybody talk about Radiant Black, it's the first thing they say is it's about a millennial who is broke and is moving back home. I'm a millennial, and I've moved back in with my parents several times, and so I connected with that right away. And then, of course, like the transformation sequence into Radiant Black was really cool. And it really did hook me from issue 1.
Yes,
Oh, that's amazing. That's amazing. Ali,
So-
I think you're up.
It's safe to say the first 6 issues were good enough to get you hooked, and that was kind of the same way for me. I think when I hopped on, it was like 3 issues in.
Yeah.
With it ever since. But what's your favorite part about the Massiveverse community? Is it like the discussions, you like engaging in the fan theories, the fan art, or anything else in particular?
The community aspect, I think, number one, that there is a community, and the fact that the creators engage the community and they're not disconnected. And so that I have a tremendous amount of respect for Melissa, for Ryan, for Kyle, Igor, Marcelo, all of them, because they engage the community and they're not superficial about it. And so I have mad respect for the creators of all of the characters. And then the community is really fun. Y'all are really fun. When I listen to the podcast, y'all don't know this, but I am talking back to you.
That's awesome.
and,
I do that sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, we often share the same opinion, So the theories are fun to go down, especially the Kathy rabbit hole. I would love
God.
to have gone back and forth with Matt about Kathy. That would have been fun. But yeah, it's really just engaging with the creators and the community. It's palpable, it's fun, and I really only started getting on the Discord about a year ago, even though I've been following for about 5 years now. And I didn't even know how big the Discord was until I signed in, and oh my gosh, there's a lot of people on there with really cool stuff. So.
Yeah, that's definitely one of my favorite parts too, because like I've never experienced a comic reading experience where the creators are this involved and that you see sometimes your discussion reflected in the book like a few issues later. So I've always thought that was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So would it be safe to say like did it change being part of the Reading Black fandom and community? Has it changed your experience of reading the series compared to anything else that you read?
Yeah, a lot of reading I do is a solo endeavor, especially as I've moved away from family and friends. I don't have a nerdy or pop culture community where I currently am right now, not yet anyway. And so I know at least when I pick up Radiant Black and Rogue Sun right now, and then very soon Inferno Girl Red, I know I'm going to have a podcast to listen to. I know the fans are going to have something to say on the Discord or Twitter X or Instagram. It's nice to see other people engaging in it. And I'm a part of that, and it's fun.
Yeah. Is there any specific interaction or something that happened that kind of stands out to you with the Reading Black community or even creators?
When they call us out, I mean, I don't know if I'm beating a dead horse here, but like as they interact with the fans, like Circle Guy News, holy crap! Like I can't believe they made it into the series and they're a real thing. I'm kind of surprised y'all haven't made it in yet. I'm waiting for that day because I'll be back there, and when I read it, I'm going to be fist pumping and going to be super stoked. I think the coolest thing that I'm really excited for that my family doesn't know yet is that my 8-year-old daughter is going to be in Inferno Girl Red book 2. And so I'm
Nice.
really excited for her to read that. And even if it is a couple of images, I'm just really excited that she's going to be a part of that community. I have a stake in the community now, you know?
Yeah, no, you're gonna have to show us the image in the book when it comes out. I'm very
that's so
excited
cool.
to see that.
Can you expand on that or not?
Is this no? I think you were one of the super backers, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
cool.
Yeah. Okay. So he literally is a super supporter of the Massiveverse. Literally in like all ways. That's pretty impressive.
That's amazing, man. That's awesome. Okay, I guess my turn to give you a couple questions here. But one question I had, which I was curious about listening to your origin story, is one thing that's kind of the same with all of our origin stories, but I guess something a little different with yours, which I thought was interesting, was Invincible kind of wasn't in there. Is that something you've ever sought out? Do you care about it at all? Is it not up your alley? What are your thoughts on Invincible?
I love Invincible. I don't know why I didn't mention it because I know y'all talk and we talk about Invincible frequently. I heard about Invincible probably a decade ago, but I never jumped into it. And then when they announced they were going to make a show about it, because I've heard about it along the ways, y'all know when you start diving into the comic book community, you start hearing about other comic book series. And of course, with 150 issues, right?
Yeah, somewhere 49.
149. So on an independent, which this is another topic for another day, but I would argue they are not an independent comic book company because they're pretty massive in my opinion, no pun intended. But they're on an indie comic book company to make 149 issues. That's a big deal. And so of course we got to hear about that. And then when they announced that they were making the show, I was like, heck yeah, I'm super excited about this. And I've watched every episode of the show. And then I think it was May or June of this past year. So in 2025, I didn't read every issue in 1 week, but I did read every issue in about 3 weeks.
Okay.
So, yeah.
Pretty fast. 140 issues.
Okay. So you're right in there with the that's good to know.
Talk about binge reading. I was, oh my gosh. It helped that I'm a visual person. And even though comics is a nice visual medium, I already had a voice for these characters.
Yes.
Exactly, right? So as I'm reading, the voices are going, the dialogue's in my head already, which made it go faster. And I was connected more. And man, I can't believe I went through it in 3 weeks.
That's a good way to put it. But yeah, it might be the ultimate like just binge comic.
It
is. I just want to ask you one quick question. Do you understand why now we as a community, at least the three of us, I mean Matt included, do you understand why now we want to see him cross over with Radiant Black so much? Like, does it make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
So much sense. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So it's not just us. Okay, because I swear everyone that knows Invincible just knows it makes sense. It's like chocolate and vanilla. It just goes together. But we're just like, I don't know why they haven't done it yet, but I'm sure they will. Yeah.
Okay. I kind of got another question, a little unrelated to Massiveverse, but it is related to Massiveverse. Considering especially at Comic-Con this weekend, we're seeing Annabelle and Sub-Zero. We're getting all these weird characters into the DC universe. Okay, so I saw you were a big, or I don't know how big to an extent, but I saw you tweet about Green Lantern. You're happy about the Blue Lantern Corps, and you're a big Green Lantern fan. So I am as well. I thought that was pretty interesting. So I was just wondering, what, like, do you have a favorite book out right now? Obviously, it's a great time to be a Green Lantern fan. Like, absolute dark. Like, there's so many. Do you have a favorite one out right now? And my second question is, if Nathan and Marshall were to get a ring, which one would they get?
That's a good question.
Oh gosh. Okay, so the first question, is it in reference to Green Lantern? Like, what's my favorite book to read right now?
Yeah, just out right now. Are you reading it currently right now? Or obviously I saw you tweet about it. So
yeah, I am reading all 3 Green Lantern titles, even though one of them's ending soon. The Green Lantern Dark, is it Dark or
Dark?
Yeah,
Absolute. I haven't checked out the Absolute, to be honest.
Oh my gosh, then 4. So yes, I'm reading Absolute Green Lantern Dark, and then Core and Green Lantern. My favorite is a tie between Green Lantern and Green Lantern Dark. Green Lantern Dark was a slow burn, but now I'm like super invested and
that's
sad.
Interesting.
Yeah, and sad that it's only 7 issues, because that seems like a really cool Elseworlds that they could explore more of. And yeah, Green Lantern is really good. Who introduced me to Jeremy Adams, the current writer, who is also the writer for the current Aquaman series.
Perfect.
All comes back to Aquaman.
Hey man, I'm gonna tie it in where I can.
Yeah, he's even writing the upcoming Batman Nightfall animated movie.
I saw that.
Yeah. He's everywhere, man.
Okay, so your second question: if Nathan and Marshall got a ring, what would they be? Gosh, without sounding too cliche, I think Nathan would get a green ring. And I only say that after going back through this series a second time. Nathan is the more like logical thinker, I think, of the two. And Marshall's the more brass, thinking on his feet, going to act with his emotions quickly. So more like a Guy Gardner, but has matured over the series for sure. I was initially going to say red for Marshall, but I don't.
My first thought too.
Yeah, but I don't think it is red, because he doesn't really lean into the anger emotion unless he's been pushed to the limit.
Unless he goes into God mode. I do think it would be cool. I think he could maybe learn how to channel the red energy, kind of like Guy Gardner, right? That would be kind of a cool thing, like learn to use it kind of for good. I think he has that kind of aspect. But yeah.
Oh my gosh.
No, I like that.
Talk about an underrated series, by the way. The Red Lantern series that started in New 52. Totally underrated.
Yes. Amazing. So yes, that's I think my last question. Sorry, it turned into Green Lantern podcast for a little bit, but we love Green Lantern over here. So yeah, Mr. Bash.
Sure. Yeah. So are there? Sorry. Yeah. So how do you think? We already talked about that. So which Radiant Black moment or issue has stuck with you the most from the books, and why?
That's a good question. I think my favorite moment is when they all meet up for the first time. That's a really cool moment for me. I'm a teams person book, so like Justice League has been really fun for me, and Power Rangers because it's a team. And so when they all first met and they were fighting 001, that was really cool. And then just getting to when Wendell is in the issue, I always know I'm in for a good time because he's a fun character. And anytime Radiant Yellow is in, I am really hyped. I think Radiant Yellow is my favorite Radiant. I don't know if you were going to ask that, but I'm pretty sure.
That was literally the
answer. Is he your favorite character, or does he have your favorite powers? Like, is the Yellow Radiant? You know what I mean? Like, is it the time travel or is it Wendell?
It's a mix of both. I wouldn't lean too much into because of time travel, but it's a super dope power to have. Sure. And I think the character Wendell is fun. And I like his aesthetic. Or I'm sorry, the Radiant Yellow aesthetic, because as we're all caught up, he's currently not the Radiant Yellow, but TBD, we'll see. But I love that his visor, his helmet has the line across where everybody else has eyes. Oh, so cool.
I agree. Okay, so how do you feel about the Massiveverse expanding? For example, Rogue Sun, Infernal Girl Red, No One. Do you have a favorite spinoff?
I was gonna say it was Infernal Girl Red, but it's either a tie or I just haven't put enough time and thought into it yet. But Rogue Sun has actually grown on me. So, Charlie, you mentioned the slow burn. Rogue Sun has been the slow burn for me, and I really like Rogue Sun now to the point where I wasn't collecting monthly, but when it hit issue 25, I started collecting monthly in addition to the trade paperbacks. And so I think I like Rogue Sun for the story and what Ryan's doing, and Nick Cotton with the story there. And of course, there's some teams situations happening throughout the series, but Infernal Girl Red is really cool. I like the transformation sequence, the fact that it's a little bit off-world, but it's still in the massive universe and what they're dealing with. I think I'm most excited for Infernal Girl Red just because we don't have enough.
Yeah, definitely. And the weight between,
Yeah.
Yeah. And the art, the colors, that looks always a treat coming up for sure. Even that cover, I need that thing on my shelf. ASAP.
And I want to say that I think I saw somewhere there was like an Infernal Girl Red, a green, and a blue, and it could be some community member drew a picture, right? It's like probably not an official image or whatever, but I saw something and it made me think, oh my gosh, how cool would that be if there was an Infernal Girl green or an Infernal Girl Infernal Girl blue? That would be dope. I would love to see that.
I think it's been a while since I've read it, but if I remember correctly, yeah, it was teased. I don't remember if
it was a flashback. It was a flashback.
It
was showing.
Was it Massive or
it was showing the mentor kind of back in her day fighting, and it showed just the silhouette glow.
Yeah.
3 colors.
Yeah.
But not the actual suits. So you're
you guys see like the cover, also the new cover, like I think we showed it in one of the recent episodes of the show. It was done by Igor Monti and it has like an orange looking Inferno.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was so dope.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm glad you love Inferno Red so much, man. Me too. I own the original art where she first like takes off the helmet. So I'm like really, I'm always really happy to meet more people who love it.
Not easy to get, but very cool.
Huge pain to get. That's sorry for another time, but huge pain to get.
Yeah.
And I'm not because of the money. I'll say that much. It was just the experience of it. So what do you think makes and like? I'm really excited to hear your answer because you're someone who's experienced both sides of this. So you'll have a very at least you have an answer based on your experience. So what do you think makes the Massiveverse stand out from other superhero universes like Marvel or DC?
Well, I think part of it, actually, Bash, can you hold on for just a second? I don't know if we can pause or not, but I had somebody ring the doorbell and I need to take care of it for just a second. If y'all give me like 30 seconds.
Yeah, no worries.
Take your turn.
It's all good. Yeah, I heard the dog. Yeah, was curious over there. Curious.
So I'll edit this out.
Yeah.
It would be good to have Matt here for these moments so that he could crack a joke or two. So, have you heard about the wall?
That's true.
Yeah, no worries. He just replied, so yeah, no, it's fine. It happens.
Yeah, it's all good. Is what it is.
Yeah, no, it's not a big deal at all.
His kids have been pretty good. Haven't bothered him very much.
No, I wasn't worried at all about that.
No, I know. I'm not worried.
Okay, I'm back.
Welcome back.
All good.
Bash, thank you, gentlemen. If you'll ask the question again.
Sure. So, what do you think makes the Massiveverse stand out from other superhero universes, like Marvel or DC?
It stands out in the sense that I love that the creators have ownership in their characters. That just really speaks to me. And I really like that they are branching out and doing fun things with it. I think it's slowed down right now. They've got a lot going on. I think that feature-length film is probably taking up a lot of their time with No One. But the fact that they're doing, like with No One, for example, a feature-length film, they did a podcast in conjunction with the series, and then every once in a while they'll come out with these goodie bags. Basically, I'm really sad I missed out on the soap.
We'll find a way to get.
Yeah, right. I wish Kyle would like upload on the rarities on the Black Market Narrative site again, like a part of the rarities of the soap, because I would so buy that. That would be fun. But yeah, they've got the T-shirts, the glow in the dark issues. I just don't see this type of creative. The audiobook that's coming out that I'm super stoked about.
Animation.
The animation. You just don't see this type of creativity coming into monthly single issues, and that keeps bringing me back, because as much as I love reading the single issues, which I really do, it's not a lie, the fact that they're giving us other things to do, as somebody with ADHD and a millennial, I love that. I love that they're giving us other things.
Yeah, I agree. It's a good time to be a comic book fan, and especially a Massiveverse fan.
Definitely.
There's so much going on. Yeah, Adi, you want to go?
Yeah, I got it. So since you've been a Radiant Black fan or the Massiveverse fan, have you ever ended up introducing Radiant Black or Massiveverse to a friend? And if so, what has their reaction been like?
Yeah, I've got several friends. In fact, it's the friends that I started collecting comics with. We all don't live in the same city anymore like we did 15 years ago, but I did buy the Massiveverse card game, and one of my close friends who's a Magic player through and through, he loves Magic the Gathering. I wanted to play the very first time I played was with him back in February, and I was really stoked about it. And I introduced him through the card game. Now, he's not a big comic book person, but the fact that there's an avenue to the Massiveverse through the card game, I think says volumes, number one. And number two, he at least knows about it, and he's brought it up to me since we've played, because we've played a few times. And so he knows about it at least, right? And then another friend I introduced, Rogue Sun, because he's like a darker horrors. I know Rogue Sun isn't horror, but it's the like the spooky, darker, like Justice
Supernatural.
League. Yeah. Supernatural. Thank you.
Yeah, gotcha.
He's a supernatural guy, and so I introduced him to Rogue Sun. He liked it. He's just he's a dad of 2 kids and busy with life, and so maybe one day he'll come back to it. But right now, he got through volume 1 and was like, "I'll have to come back." I'm like, "Dope. At least you read it."
Right.
That's very interesting. Sorry, I just want to step in here, but what did this guy think of the card game? I'm curious because, like, to me, playing it, I'm starting to enjoy it a little more now. I find it a little overwhelming. Like the amount of rules you have to look for.
Yeah.
I'm not a card player whatsoever, mind you. Like I never play any card games really. So what did he think of it? Like, was it? Yeah, how was it?
Well, first, Charlie, I agree with you. It at first is overwhelming, but thank goodness my friend is way more nerdier than I am, and he was able to look at the rules and go, "Oh yeah, I know what they're talking about." Because I think most like deck building or card games tend to run parallel to each other as far as the mechanics go. And so he was able to pick up the mechanics really quickly, whereas I was reading it going, "Do what?"
Yeah. Takes 5 minutes per turn, right? They say like 5 minutes.
Yeah. And so he picked it up no problem. Which is why I wanted to play with him, because I knew he would pick up on the mechanics quicker than I would, and it would help me be able to teach other people. And it's worked out that way.
Okay, cool. I was curious about that.
It's still pretty interesting to me that was like his. I never thought of the card game as an avenue to enter the Massiveverse. I always thought of you're already in the Massiveverse, so you're gonna buy the card game. But
that's true.
Huh. It's really interesting to me that was kind of his in to it. That's pretty cool.
Oh yeah, when they announced the Kickstarter for the Massiveverse card game, I immediately thought of 2 people that I wanted to play with who didn't know anything about the Massiveverse, because it would be my way of introducing them to the Massiveverse through their preferred avenue.
Yeah, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. So I'm doing the work, Kyle, okay?
Well, speaking of, what would you say to somebody that is picking up Radiant Black for the first time today?
I would ask them if I'd try to gauge like where they are age-wise, because that would help me figure out which direction to go in. So if they're a millennial, which is the easier avenue to go down, I would say, well, if you're did you watch Power Rangers? If so, you will enjoy or appreciate Radiant Black or the Massiveverse in general, because it's like a love letter or an homage to the Power Rangers in the tokusatsu and that genre. And that's my starting place. And it that really helps to talk about have the Power Ranger comparison, because a lot of people know about Power Rangers nowadays, but not necessarily Radiant Black. And so we're trying to change that. So you give them a comparison and go, "Oh, okay, yeah, I'll check it out." And now with Immortal Legend Batman, there's another avenue that we can start connecting people to. it's all about connections,
big
man.
one, a big avenue,
Yeah.
a big avenue.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that one's a big one. Oh, that's exciting. Sorry, Ali, did you have one more?
Yeah, one more. So as a loyal listener of the Radiant Black podcast, if you were to add a new feature or a segment, you have anything in mind? Fan theories, creator Q&A, live readings, anything else come to mind?
Oh, live readings would be fun. Every time y'all do a live recording, I'm always watching, or I do my best to watch because life happens, right? But I do my best to watch the whole thing and even try to comment. So if you did live readings, that would be fun. Another way to interact with the community, which is community is really important to me. Part of my history, if I may, for just a moment here,
100%.
part of who I am revolves around community. And I was bullied growing up, and so the feeling of being bullied is terrible. It's garbage, and nobody ever wants to experience that. And so anytime I see somebody experiencing loneliness or being mistreated or being bullied, I try to rope them into the community because I feel like I'm a misfit myself. And so just roping in all the misfits, so to speak. And so when communities engage, like the Massiveverse community has, it like, what a time to be alive, right? And also what a cool and great community to be a part of, because everybody is really cool. No one's a super huge, asshole or is mean, and everyone's pretty respectful. And so this is a good community to be a part of. And so for you to come back to the question, Ali, like to do live Q&As or to respond to the questions would be another community building piece that would just be super dope.
I love that.
That's
Appreciate
awesome.
that. Thanks.
That's awesome. Okay, now we're gonna get you in trouble a little bit.
Yeah, let's go. Bash is being awfully quiet for me getting in trouble. I know he's the troublemaker.
Ooh.
Who? You don't have to say if you don't want or don't feel comfortable, but who did you vote for? The biggest.
I voted for Marshall.
What was it?
Yeah.
Hard? Was it hard for you?
Marshall.
Was it ever Nathan?
It was on my second read.
Oh, really? You changed your mind?
Man, change the question from who did you vote for to was it ever Nathan?
That's kind of like what. No, I'm interested in that because I'm interested in who he picked, but I'm also interested. Did you kind of shift away? Like, did you learn to grow Marshall and then voted for him, or did it kind of just shift suddenly?
Okay, so Marshall, in my experience, was the obvious pick, but that's coming from the standpoint of reading it month to month. When I first started reading Radiant Black, there was only the first trade paperback, and the second trade paperback was coming out in like 2 months. And so I wasn't able to binge consume like we can right now with 7 volumes out.
Right.
And so I was reading the development of Marshall and Nathan over the span of, so Catalyst War started 23. So like 2 years. And I love how Marshall interacts with Nathan and how he interacts with the rest of the RBs and just his character. And so for me, the natural choice was Marshall. Then when the Catalyst War was wrapping up, I went back and read everything again. On the second read, I went, oh shit. I think Nathan, I should have voted for Nathan.
Wow,
Nathan seems like the more, I'm going to do air quotes here, but like logical choice as far as like responsibility and level-headedness. But, after reading everything and seeing the end results and where they've gone now, we're at issue 37 now from 31 when Marshall was picked. And I love the direction that they're going with. I'm hoping we get to see Nathan again, but I love the direction that they're going. Happy with my choice. The was more of a joking gesture, but
I got you.
That's the long-winded answer.
Oh, I love that. I love that. I think we all voted Marshall too. So I agree. I think there was like a right answer of like what would be better for actually the world they live in, or what would be the right answer for the story. And I think all of us, it's like Marshall is a little more interesting. Like he's a little more layered, maybe. But I hope to be proven wrong one day, maybe if
Although
Nathan comes back.
If Matt had a third option, and I know he would have gone with Kathy, so would I.
That's incredible.
Honestly, like the amount of letter section traffic that Kathy has taken up is our legacy. We have cemented our legacy as a show there in the letter section.
Yeah. Kathy's gotten some big namesake in Radiant Black for sure. That's amazing. Another the last question I had, I guess, for this round was about Cowl, and I don't know your kind of if you've read it, if you haven't, but obviously we know Radiant Black 37. They've kind of and spoilers if you haven't caught up to 37, but they've introduced Cowl. They're bringing it back kind of as like a version 2, and they're bringing back this new hero who I think is kind of like a version 2 of Blaze, kind of. But who have you read Cowl, and do you think he did a good job introducing it into Radiant Black?
Yeah. So I'll answer your second question first, which is yes, I like how they brought in Cowl into Radiant Black. Just super like, oh snap kind of moment. That was cool. Appreciated it. I collected the first 6 issues when it came out because of Nightwing, right? Kyle was writing Nightwing, and I don't remember the exact timeline if Kyle was after Nightwing or if it was running concurrent with Nightwing. But because I liked Kyle, I saw he was doing Cal. I'm like, this is dope. It's superheroes. I'm going to go collect it. And I stopped after issue 6. Just personally wasn't invested as much in Cal because at the time for me wasn't a name brand. So, and I know, right?
I agree. I was in the exact same boat. I would say it honestly took me maybe 5 or 6 times, like 5 or 6 times I would sit down and say, okay, I'm going to read Cal. I get through halfway through the first issue. Okay, I'm going to go do something else.
Yeah.
You have to be in the right mindset. It's like, it's very dense. You have to be dedicated to read.
Yeah. It's not I'll be honest, it's not my favorite, but because it's a part of the Massiveverse, I know one day I'm going to sit down and read all of what's out so far, and I want to show my love and support to the Massiveverse creators because I want to see this universe continue for as long as it possibly can. So if it means buying the single issues and then I'm reading it later down the road, that's fine with me. And in fact, with 1964, I've been getting the Kelly variants. Is it Kelly McMahon? McMahon? Yeah, I've been getting her variants because those are really cool. I don't want to get the A cover. I want the B cover on that one because those are really cool. And at some point, I'm going to get volume 2 of Cal because I don't have those issues. But I do have issue 6, which apparently wasn't collected in one of the volumes. So I got that going for me.
I will say you're the first person I've talked to that is like an OG Cal reader that like read Cal.
That's actually true.
There's like 2 people.
That'll blow my mind.
Yeah, other than them, it's just exactly. That's true.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah, man. So y'all know when you find a creator that you really like, you want to show them love, you want to show them support. So that's what I was doing, and that's why I went to Power Rangers. That's why I went to Radiant Black, and Radiant Black was my gateway into Dead Lucky, Rogue Sun, IGR. Right, to the point where the Kickstarter for IGR was over, like way over, and I missed out on buying the Kickstarter edition, but then they released it. You know, they had a limited run on the black market narrative, and I hopped on that and got me a copy of it, just sitting right behind me.
You know, I thought it was really cool that they released it in single issues too. Like for anybody that missed the Kickstarter, you know, and you're hyped about it, you can still kind of go and read it that way.
Yeah, very true.
So
Mr.
we got
Bash?
4 questions left, and we're done. So we're pretty much winding down. So we've had a lot of fun. The Massiveverse often explores themes of legacy, responsibility, and identity. Which of those hits closest to home for you as a reader?
Okay, I'm going to have to ask you to ask the question again because my youngest stepped in and was asking questions at the same time.
No worries. Yeah, so the Massiveverse often explores themes of legacy, responsibility, and identity. Which of those hits closest to home for you as a reader?
Man, great question. Oh my gosh. I'm really, no pun intended, identifying with identity as, and I don't mind saying my age, but as a 37-year-old, I've been exploring who I am in the last 4 to 5 years. And I am really enjoying this really challenging growth season for me of who am I and who am I in this world that we live in? And we could talk about that all day. I know we could. And to see Dylan, right? Dylan growing as an older teenager, to see Marshall grow, like to see him grow from issue 1 and where he is at 37, huge growth, and he's learning who he is. Or, alternate version of Marshall was freaking wild. And so identity has been really it's been playing a big part of my life lately, especially as I try to figure out who am I as a dad, who am I as a spouse, and who am I in my job. Yeah, all those things.
That's cool. Yeah, that's interesting. I guess that's kind of a question that never ends in a way, right? Like you're always questioning something. But yeah, no, that's very cool. And yeah, this book is so good for that. Like I think it hits so many different people for so many different reasons. I think that's for sure one of the big reasons what makes it special for me anyways.
Yeah.
Sorry, Bash.
No, of course, I agree. If you could step into the Massiveverse for one day, which city or book's world would you want to experience and why? And I just want to clarify, asterisk, I know that a lot of the cities are literally real cities. So imagine it's the city as the book sees it. So it's like if it's New Orleans,
Catalyst for Chicago.
Is this exactly pre or post Catalyst War?
You can pick.
Yeah. Okay.
My answer is the same for pre and post. It's Chicago. And props to freaking Kyle, man, because I never wanted to visit Chicago before, or Lockport. And I had zero desire. Like Chicago and New York are the 2 places I had zero desire checking out because it seemed too packed to me, like LA as well. I don't know if I ever want to go visit those places because they're so packed or the theory or the depiction is that it's a big city with overpopulated people, and I didn't really want to go visit. And then reading Radiant Black, I get to see insider scoop, right, of these particular places that Kyle has been to or used to live there, right? And would throw it into the series. That helps make the personal connection a little bit deeper because now I want to go visit. In fact, I'm trying to figure out, can I make C2E2 next year?
Ooh, you should go.
I don't know, but I'm really trying.
Yeah, that'd be the perfect time to go experience that.
Yeah, you should go, man. Trust me, C2E2 is always the best because they consider it home base. So they're always like trying to do like events after, like the bar meetups and everything. So plus you would be there like living in the Radiant Black. Like you would be at the bar so it'd be like a whole new like next level experience. It's what we all really want to do. Like as a show, that's our dream. It's like we've talked about, like we all want to go to like C2E2 and obviously San Diego together. But C2E2, I think for Radiant Black would be more meaningful.
Yeah, I agree.
It's closer to Kyle and everything.
Yeah. Well, count me in whenever you figure it out.
Hell yeah. Hell yes. So last 2 questions. The Massiveverse creators, and the 2 separate ones. the Massiveverse creators often engage directly with fans. Has that? I mean, like you answered this already earlier, but I'm still curious. The Massiveverse creators often engage directly with fans. Has that level of creator fan connection changed how you see the industry?
Has it changed how I see the stories?
No, the comic book industry.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I didn't know any of this shit until I started listening to y'all and following Ryan and Kyle and Igor and Marcelo on all socials, and Michael too. He's so funny, by the way. I love
Yeah, he is.
watching
I
his
love his
tweets.
Twitter account.
He's a great guy. But they have opened my eyes to the comic book industry and how it can be great at times and shady at times. And just from a nerd perspective, the inner workings of like, how does it operate? And I talk about that because I'm growing in my job. So I work at the church that we go to, and I'm in a position of leadership, and so I'm the pastor of the church that we go to, and I'm learning how operations and systems work. And as I listen to people like Kyle and Michael talk about the systems in the comic book industry, I'm like, oh, I'm finding personal connections on how like deadlines, right? How they turn stuff in, how they get printed, how far in advance they have to have this stuff, or if a blip happens, that how far it sets them back, and how they communicate with one another. It's an ongoing system that almost never stops, and it's really interesting to hear the behind the scenes stuff, because I'm starting to realize I like to nerd out about that. Like, okay, I like to read Radiant Black. How was this issue made? What was the process to making this issue? And they're pretty good about talking about it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, that definitely makes you more dedicated to things. I'm definitely getting more into that with movies and TV for sure. It makes you appreciate everything, how things are filmed, what props they made to use. But yeah, comics is seems like a very stressful job. Like it's funny because it seems almost like from the outside, like if you think of a comic writer, a comic artist, like you'd almost think of it as kind of an easy job, or maybe something like oh, they're lucky they get to do that, they don't have to work very hard. But like the amount of stress they're under is pretty substantial. So yeah, it's absolutely crazy. I just actually I had one more question for you, and then I'm done. But just wanted to give you a second to give a shout out to do you have a comic or a movie? I don't know how much into movies are you, besides Radiant Black. Do you have like a standout movie this year that you want to shout out, or a standout comic that you absolutely love that maybe like just changed your love of movies, or anything, or that you just really enjoyed? Maybe you need more time and you can't think of anything.
I do love movies. I try to watch all the superhero movies as much as I can. This year, I mean, I got to give a shout out to Superman, because it's garnered the attention that I wanted it to in our world, where it's really just bumming me out, and a lot of negativity and people being mean for no reason other than what I would consider selfish reasons. For a movie to promote kindness with like being kind is cool. I know y'all saw it, and talking about kind is cool, or it's punk rock to be kind. I love that. I love that that's the attention that it's getting, not because it's super well, it is getting attention because it's Superman. And I think James Gunn did a great job with the movie and everybody who worked on the film, but being kind. I'm so sick of people being mean for no reason, or creating division for no reason, or if there is a reason, it's for selfish reasons. And so that's my big movie shout out this year. Although I haven't seen Tron Ares yet, and I'm a super huge Tron fan. I really want to see that movie. But comic book, I'm trying to squeeze this in because I know y'all love this man too, and I don't know how he's doing what he's doing right now. But anything Dan Mora touches, just shut up and take my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's a good answer. That's a
Absolutely.
good answer.
I can't get enough of Mora, man. He's my favorite. I think he's my favorite, honestly.
Oh my gosh, he probably is my favorite nowadays. But it used to be Francis Manipul, and then they started being in a tie. They were in a tie, and now Dan's doing so much that I'm like, oh my gosh, dude, how are you finding time to do all that?
Yeah.
And you want to talk about somebody who's interactive with the fans and community. That guy has gained a lot of popularity, and he still, I think, takes a little bit of time to engage. He would engage with me a lot back in the day. I say back in the day, like I discovered him through Claws, which is behind me. I have the Kickstarter edition. Yeah, I have the Kickstarter edition and a regular hardcover version. That's where I discovered Dan, and I've been a fan since then. So much so that it pointed me to when he was working on Hexed, and I went and bought the complete edition of Hexed. And
that's his first book.
Yeah.
I have the issues. Yeah, I love it. I even bought the ratio just to have his first like cover. Like I was really like it. Yeah, dude, I love his work. I'm like upset. I own like 97% of his DC covers. So like it's insane. And like if you know, he's done a lot of them. Like a lot of them.
Yes.
So
pretty much every single series has a variant by Dan Mora. It is
no, like he's actually doing the A covers.
The guy right now,
like, dude. He's doing the A covers right now on Flash, Justice League Unlimited, and World's Finest. So there's
Immortal Batman.
And Immortal Legend Batman. And I actually think one of his best covers of the year, in my opinion, is the Immortal Legend Batman 4 variant cover. He did 2 covers for a variant Immortal Legend Batman number 4. He did the A cover, and then there's a B cover where it's like half his mask is like torn off from damage. It's like one of the best covers of the year, in my opinion. Dude, the guy he's killing it. Anyway, my final question. Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I just don't. I want to give him as much love as possible, but not take up too much time. I don't know how he's doing Superman, Immortal Legend Batman, freaking Transformers, and then Justice League. What is this guy? Is he using a time travel device to be able to do all these things?
Yeah, people always joke that he's in the dungeons or something. Yeah, and it's just like, no, he's just that good. I think that's why he's so popular. And it's like, it's crazy because in my opinion, I think DC has the 2 best artists in the industry, and I think it's Jorge Jimenez.
Without a doubt. Without a doubt. Yeah.
It's so good. Like they're not like, like art is subjective. We can argue like Nick Klein is like better, like fine art in terms of painting, like Esad Ribic and all that. But I just mean like contemporary appeal, mainstream, all that. I think they have the most like appeal.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah. His lines are so slick and like just a little bit more extended than like Batman's cowl. It comes out a little bit more than normal, and it makes it cool and appealing to me. Like I love that.
I agree. I just like, even when I see the new Immortal Legend Batman suit, I see like hints of the same sensibility that went into like Ezreal's design in the 90s. It's almost that kind of like, we're doing something contemporary, but we want to have real fun with it and not just make it something basic, but like something really like just like go crazy. And I love that. I will say one thing I always hope for as someone who's part of the show and this community is that we can one day break the news, not like be the person to break the news, but just like just retweet or share that. Like it would be such a dream to be like, yes, Dan Mora finally has a cover of Radiant Black that he's done. That's all I want. That's all I want. I just want to be able to say, and I hope it's issue 50. Just let him do either cover A or a variant for issue 50. I would just lose it. I know it's like a schedule thing and all that, but the stars could align for that.
Hey, 50's still like a year out. 50's still like a year out. There's time to plan it. There's time.
Kyle got him for the covers of Immortal Legend and
the cards.
And the cards. And the designs and the cards. Yeah, so they've been doing work with him. So it's like, just that's a blessing. Anyway, like one last question. And I think it's the perfect question to end with. So looking ahead, what do you hope to see from the Massiveverse?
I want to see at least one more new character.
When you see a new character, do you mean like a new character who gets their own title, or a new character?
Yes. Thank you for the clarification. That's what I meant. Like, we haven't seen Dead Lucky in a while. I would love to see more Dead Lucky, and even if it's a mini series, just a new character in the Massiveverse get their own series. And because I'm a teams person, and if they can build a team, that would be super dope. I also want to see a Radiant Green, but that's because green is my favorite color, and I don't consider Premier a Radiant Green. To me, he had green tint, he wasn't green per se to me. But feel free to tell me I'm wrong, because I've been wrong before. But I would love to see a Radiant Green. That would just make my day.
I love that. That's like such a well thought out answer too. And no, you're not wrong. I agree with you. Like Premier is like, it's almost like a metallic color, right?
Yeah.
It's hard to explain. It's like, it's a very weird like metallic color. I don't know how to explain it. It's like Master Chief, but even more like toned down. I don't know how to explain.
Right.
But yeah, it's weird. Anyway, first of all, Jordan, I just want to say that we've been looking forward to this for a long time. So really, it's such an honor to have you on. Thank you for joining us. And I do want to say, and I mean it when I say this, we don't say things we don't mean here, even when it's shenanigans. I'm for real. Please come back at some point in the future. We're gonna do more community spotlight stuff in the future, and we're always like we say this to everyone now listening. We always want to have more people from the community on. So if you ever want to come join on, just reach out. Like we've had so much fun in the past doing it with people. We had such a good time today with Jordan. Yeah, so please reach out. Anyway,
Thanks.
guys, I think it goes without saying that we have a lot to look forward to next week. So one thing I want to leave everyone with.
Didn't even talk about Spawn, but we'll leave that for another time.
Yeah, I got sent the issue of Rogue Sun number 30 2 weeks ago, and the reason so I didn't share it with anyone, and there's a reason, is because I got it from Lunar, and they do this thing where so I used to work at a comic book store, and when you work there, they like Lunar and other distributors that you have access with, they'll send you like advanced retail PDFs of certain comic books. Like usually it's promotional, so if people want it to be sent out. For whatever reason, I think they sent out promotional of Rogue Sun 30, but they splash your watermark of your store's like code on every single page so that you can't show it to anyone, so that you could get back. So basically, if you do leak it, they know exactly who did it, and they'll just ban you from getting comics from them. So I can't share it, but I will tell you that having read the issue, it is one of the best issues of the whole run. So I will leave you with that for next week. Go pick up Rogue Sun number 30. Excellent. We're gonna be back here, but obviously under the tutelage of the Rogue Sun podcast, and we will be putting that episode out probably Wednesday or Thursday. So thank you, everyone, and of course, thank you again to Jordan for your ongoing support. Obviously, means the world to us, and we had a lot of fun doing this. So I'd like to
all your interactions too. It makes doing this a lot more fun too. Having
a positive person,
not just shouting completely into the void all the time. It's nice to have people like you to interact with us and make this thing a fun community. Back to community, like you said, right? Like it makes everything better.
It's easy to do with good people, and y'all are good people.
Thank you. Too. Appreciate
thank you. Yeah, it actually feels like it's so much fun. When I was looking at the library episodes like that, recently we did the episode with Eric, and then we're gonna have this episode, and it's just like I know we've been talking behind the scenes, but we've had so much fun doing these. So we're like, please, like more people. We're gonna get more. We're gonna get Eric and Jordan back in the future. So if you're a listener or viewer, don't worry about that. But yeah, anyone else who wants to join us, please come. We're gonna have so much fun, and we are doing trivia very soon. I've been building a disgustingly like brutal trivia. I was like, because I'm like, I don't want to make it super hard, because I was like, what are compromises, right? There's ways. But before we had really weird detail questions. This time I'm like, I'm not gonna make it super hard, but I'm gonna put a lot of questions. And because there's been a big gap between the last trivia we did and this one, we have all of Catalyst War and all of Rebuild. to ask questions about.
Yes.
That's like over a year's worth of comics.
We've got more than 12 issues for sure that we have never done trivia.
Never
on.
touched, never asked anything. And the Catalyst War shit gets hazy because it's 2 timelines. So you don't gotta come prepared, I'm telling you. But the rewards are gonna be extraordinary. And yes, we are gonna have rewards. Radiant Black rewards, official rewards. So assigned rewards even. So yes, be there. Anyways, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. We'll see everyone next time. Stay